crave our indulgence to stand for another 1-2 minutes as I welcome Pastor Mo, Pastor Jacob to please accept to come to the microphone to help us say the opening prayers. Pastor Jacob, please.
Amen. Shall we pray? Our Father and our God, we thank you. We have every reason to give you thanks. Thank you for gathering us by your power, waking us up, giving us a reason to gather on a day like this. Lord, we invite you to take supremacy over this meeting. Direct us, guide our discussion. Let your spirit flow through this meeting in the name of Jesus. We trust you for the security of our state. And as we plan, with you on our side, we declare that it shall be well with Akwa Ibom State in the name of Jesus. We trust you for guiding our leader, Pastor Omeno. Trust you for bringing the planning committee together, bringing all the stakeholders that will support us in the business of securing our state together. We trust that the enablement you give all of us, that at the end of the day, it will be said that the Lord had been with us. This do, for we pray in Jesus' name.
Thank you very much, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Please, we can take our seats. Thank you so much. Just like that, we all get seated because this is a very corporate event and we need the decorum that an event of this magnitude should have. Your Excellency, our Governor and Leader, Your Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the grand norm that is the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria proceeds in Section 14, Sub 2, that the security and welfare of the citizens should be the primary concern of every government. Now, what this means, therefore, is that every effort of government geared towards ensuring and guaranteeing the security of lives and properties of its citizenry should be encouraged and indeed applauded. Today, we are gathered here at the banquet hall in the Governor's office in Akwa to launch or for the officials of the Akwa State security protocol, some sort of legislated corporate social responsibility call from the Akwa State government to stakeholders in the business of development of the Akwa State as we work together to ensure that these states remain one of the most peaceful states in the world beyond the shores of Nigeria. Let me therefore welcome all of those who are seated to please join me as we celebrate the vision, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor of the Warren of Big. Let me take a moment or two to acknowledge our partners and the people that we gather and celebrate the key president of the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, distinguished Senator Dr. Akwa. Let me acknowledge respectfully the Flag Officer Commanding Eastern Naval Command, Let me also acknowledge respectfully Rear Admiral Joseph Akwa, who is the Chief of Defense Administration, representing the Chief of Defense Staff, General G.G. Musa. Please can we celebrate? Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, the IGP is represented at this event by CP Baba Mohammed Azare. Can we put our hands together to celebrate, please? Thank you. Thank you so much. Let me also acknowledge respectfully the representative of the Director General of the Director of State Security, who is also here with us, represented by the State Director Securities Akwa Ibom State. Please can we celebrate Adedoye Oluwatosin. We acknowledge your esteemed presence and we appreciate you for being here. Your Excellency, finally, before I move over to other parts of the introductions, because this event is one that deserves that we mention the names of our leaders that are gathered, let me acknowledge the representative of the Commandant General of the NSCDC, also seated, ACD Dan Okon Elena. Thank you so much. We acknowledge the President and we thank you. Please permit me to acknowledge and celebrate all the service commanders, vital commanders of all the security agencies. We acknowledge your presence and we acknowledge and celebrate. We come to our hands together to celebrate all of them. Thank you so much. Firstly, let me acknowledge our leaders, distinguished senators who have also joined us in the event of today. Our father, our leader, what we truly honor, distinguished Senator Udoma. Please let me put our hands together. The man who has named Nigeria in various capacities, Senator, Minister, Chairman of the class. Please let me put our hands together to honor him one more time. Senator Akwa Samson is also here. Please let me put our hands together. The Director of Campaign, His Excellency Chief Asamaka, Senior Advocate. With my honorable members of the Akwa Ibom Assembly, you are respected and your honor, the Secretary to the Government of Akwa Ibom State Trade, and over. Please can we honor the Executive Assistant to the Governor, and all other commissioners that are here. This is truly honor one of you, and we appreciate it. Let me thank the commissioners too. We are doing based on ground achievement. Your Excellency, today we have partners from everywhere. The corporate sector, oil and gas industry, construction companies, and all other forms of corporate formations that we can think of. And please like to please that it may be impossible for me to name all the names gathered here today, but I'll make an effort just to take a ride to honor some of those who have come all the way to be a part of this event, because it is strongly well that we would tap into to build the security architecture in Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, let me acknowledge the MDPW Nigeria Limited seated engineer Mahbud Khan. Please can we put our hands together to celebrate him. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. I acknowledge respectfully the Managing Director and CEO of Premium Trust Bank, Dr. Emmanuel Emefenim, who is seated. We celebrate your esteemed presence. Thank you. From Wema Bank, Your Excellency, Deputy Managing Director Oluwole Ajimisimi. Please can we put our hands together to celebrate him. From Union Bank, representing the MD, Rosemary Johnson. Please can we put our hands together to honor Frontier Oil Limited. Your Excellency, we acknowledge the Managing Director, Dada Thomas. Please can we acknowledge him also. Thank you very much. From Fidelity Bank, representing the IMD2, we acknowledge Stanley Amuchi, Executive Director. We honor your esteemed presence. Your Excellency, from Zenith Bank, let me honor the esteemed presence of Executive Director Akin Ogoronti. We welcome you and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for being here. From Globus Bank, I acknowledge Executive Director Sunday Ilega. Please can we honor him. From Paralex Bank, Your Excellency, Managing Director CEO Olufemi Bakri. Please can we put our hands together to honor his esteemed presence. Let me acknowledge representing the CEO from First Bank, Evare Rayman, Business Manager. Please can you put our hands together to honor his esteemed presence. Your Excellency, the MD of Sterling Global is also here. Mobit Barrett. Please can you put our hands together to honor him. Let me acknowledge respectfully from Savannah Energy, Regional Manager Nkoyo Eto. Please can you put our hands together to honor his esteemed presence. Representing the MD of Vandresa, Engineer Anthony Wellington. Please can we honor him. Thank you. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, General Manager, Public and Government Affairs, Seplat Energy. Please can we honor Mr. Oge Odoaga. Thank you so much. And please, as I'd already hinted, if I want to take all the time to honor everyone here by name, we may never launch the Security Trust Fund today. So please let me plead, all of us who are here, all the companies represented, please can we put our hands together to celebrate all the corporate bodies represented at this event. We truly honor you, we truly appreciate you, we thank you. Let me acknowledge permanent secretaries, heads of extra ministerial departments, and chairmen of boards who have joined us here in this very awesome gathering. I acknowledge respectfully to the chairmen of local government areas who are very, very strategic partners in the business of today, through the chairman of Algon, Uwem Udo, PhD. Please, can we celebrate our chairman, please? Celebrate all our chairmen. We honor you. We appreciate you. Your Excellency, as I make efforts to end on this rather long series of introductions, let me acknowledge the members of the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund, having already acknowledged their chairman. I acknowledge the Vice Chairman, Engineer Uwem Okoko, Fellow, Nigerian Society of Engineers. Please can we celebrate. The Executive Secretary of the Fund, Colonel Kingsley Umo, retired. Please, we honor your esteemed presence. Thank you so much. Representatives of the construction company, please let me plead again. Through him, I acknowledge all the construction companies represented in this hall. Chief Faisal Ha of Bulletin. Please, can we celebrate him? Thank you very much. Let me acknowledge representative of oil companies, Mr. Raymond Abia. Please, can you put our hands together to honor him? Dr. Asukwo Ita, who represents the banking sector in the Security Trust Fund. Please, can we honor him also? And because security is spiritual, let me also honor the representative of the religious community, Pastor Ndayo Udomfo. Please, can we put our hands together as we honor him? All ex-official members of this fund, you are duly acknowledged. Ladies and gentlemen, let me acknowledge gentlemen of the praise and all our leaders who are here gathered. I trust that you know that I truly honor you. If I had more time, I would want to celebrate you some more. But please permit that I end here on introductions as I invite all of us to please put our hands together to celebrate ourselves. Just one more time. Celebrate everyone here. Thank you so much. Having finished with introductory formalities, I want to plead that the speakers coming hereafter should please associate with the protocol as established so we can skip further introductions and go straight to the meat of why we are gathered. Please put your hands together now as I welcome the chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund to set the tone for today's event. Paul Usoro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, Chairman, Access Bank.
Your Excellencies and the Chairman for this occasion, let me start on a little bit of a light note. I belong to a profession that respects hierarchy, and the last speaker is actually my junior. And I was surprised that he was giving me a limitation on time that I have to speak. But then I recognize that the powers that he have now, they are far more than the powers that I have to discipline him. So I'll just let it be today. Thank you very much, Your Excellencies. But to be fair, he has made my job fairly easy. He has already welcomed everyone. And therefore, in my having to set the tone, I can skip that one. I would say he has welcomed everyone. And you are all very welcome. Particularly those who are going to give us money today. The ones that are not going to give us money, we only welcome them only a little bit, but we welcome them all the same. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. My own is very easy, exactly to set the tone. Why are we here today? We are here today because His Excellency, in his brilliant vision, saw the need to set up a public-private partnership to take care of security. As my chairman for today would inform all of us, security is everybody's business. It is not only the government's business. It is not only the business of the security agencies who have very graciously given us their attendance today. It's not only the business of the police, it's the business of all of us. There's also something about security. If there's insecurity in your neighbor's house, there's insecurity in your own house, because it's very easy to spread. And I say that particularly as it relates to our local governments. If there's insecurity in one local government, the likelihood that it would move to the next local government is very high. And so His Excellency decided it was wise to do two things with today's function. And the first is to create awareness on the need for all of us to join hands as far as making sure that security, which we are already enjoying actually in Akwa Ibom, is sustained and is made as much as possible something that is permanent. Now that takes me to the second reason that we are here. As my chiefs of the security would tell you, security costs money. Even in your private residence, you must spend money for security. But having to spend money for the state's security is a much more difficult task than having to take care of the security in my house. And so, even though the state has been funding security, both the state, the subnational, as well as the federal governments, it was thought necessary that we should have a public-private partnership that would enable us pool resources together to protect the states, to save lives, to save properties, to ensure that investments such as our very important guests have in Akwa Ibom State, that those investments are secure. That really is the essence of today's function. And we'll be hearing a lot more about what we intend to do or what the trust fund is established to do from another member of the board of the trust fund, and that is the gentleman who is in charge of internal security in Akwa Ibom State and the waterways. He would tell you that security is not only limited to what happens in your house or the roads, that in fact, you also could have insecurity in your waterways. That precisely is why His Excellency decided to name that ministry the Ministry of Internal Security and the Waterways. And that's also why we decided to invite our brothers who are in the Navy to be with us today. Because while the Nigerian police force will spearhead and lead the land security with support from all the other agencies, including in particular the state departments, the Navy, we're expecting, would be the ones who would lead that same assignment as far as the marine security is concerned. Again, including the Directorate of State's Department, State Security. And I mention them specifically because they are very important. We acknowledge their support, just as we acknowledge the support of the Nigerian Army, the Civil Defense, and all the other agencies that constitute parts of our security architecture. Now, when we are saying it's going to be a public-private partnership, what we mean is that the running of the affairs of the Security Trust Fund is going to be not any different from the way that my elder brother, and I'm referring to distinguished Senator Udodoma, who presides over SEPLATs, and which was why we invited him. We invite him for multiple reasons. It's not going to be any different from the way he expects that organization to run, with integrity. And that was why His Excellency decided to put a number of private sector people who are on the board of the trust fund. What we're having today, this gathering of today, would only be the first of several such gatherings. Actually, this is the second of such gatherings. There was the first one, which was to create the initial awareness, and this is the second one, to create a wider awareness. But we intend that there would be governance structure that would be able to tell our donors, whom we expect will donate generously, exactly what we are doing with the funds that they're going to give us today and which they would continue to give beyond today. And I mentioned that last bit because today is not the end. This is only the beginning. There will be need to continue to sustain the security of the state. So we will be calling on you, and we are expecting that you would join us in having to provide that security. One last point for our corporate organizations who may have some concerns, which is quite understandable. Some of us may not wish, being regulated entities, for example, or for some other reason, to publicly announce what we are donating. There is something you could do. You could fill a pledge form, which my colleagues would be sharing to everyone if it hasn't already been shared. And you could fill that pledge form and you let us know, and we will get in touch with you. In truth, whether you fill that pledge form or not, we would get in touch with those of you who are not announcing anything today, because we believe that your having to be here is already an indication that you're willing to join in that assignment. And so I finally again welcome everyone. Your Excellency has already indicated very graciously, and that's why you see some of the glasses and things on your table, that when you have offloaded the one in your pockets, His Excellency is going to load you the one that is going into your stomach, which means you're going to have lunch, and we'll welcome you to stay and join His Excellency in the lunch for this afternoon. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Please, another round of applause for the chairman of the State Security Trust Fund, Paul Osoro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. We want to very wholesomely appreciate him for all he continues to do, particularly for coming home every so often to be a part of what is going on here in Akwa Ibom State. Thank you so much. And by the way, let me, not as a rejoinder, mention that he permitted me to regulate this event and has given me a paper that I must ensure that everyone follows. Your Excellency, he told me to ensure that he speaks for only 2 minutes. I was only obeying him. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. Let me respectfully now welcome for the opening remarks the chairman on this occasion, a leader that we honor and celebrate for his enormous contribution to the security in our dear country. Please, can we put our hands together? Welcome Usman B. Al-Khalis, Commander of the Federal Republic, IGP retired.
The Honorable Speaker, Akwa Ibom House of Assembly, MDs and COEs of organized private sectors, members of the State Executive Councils, elders of Akwa Ibom. Let me quote the protocol as directed. Ladies and gentlemen, other protocols duly observed. Some days ago, when His Excellency Governor Omo casually walked into my Abuja residence to personally brief me on Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund initiative and to formally invite me to chair today's launch, I was captivated by two virtues in him. Firstly, his humility, even in power and authority, as governor of the leading oil-producing and one of the wealthiest states with the third highest gross domestic product in Nigeria. Secondly, the passion, calm, confidence, and depth with which he articulated his security vision and goals, which informed the birth of Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund. For a few seconds after His Excellency rounded off his delivery, I was lost in thoughts as to the right words to engage in replying him, as I was totally caught off guard by his nature and clear mastery of his governance vision. I was also enchained by his infectious humility and simplicity. As the former Inspector General of Police, or as Inspector General of Police, I was privileged to meet the high and mighty within the governance and political space of this country, and indeed outside. I must say my interaction with Governor Omo presented him to me as a rare breed among his political peers. This triggered my inquisitiveness, and as a former police investigator, to find out more about him. When he left my house, I asked myself, who really is this man? Omo? Eno? Could his character, chemistry, personality, and unique style of governance be a product of his pastoral background, which preaches humility, sincerity, and adoption of God's ways in doing all things? Or is it his background of corporate governance that gives him this ability? Or could it be a combination of the two variables? In answering these questions, I still want to search. I leveraged the artificial intelligence tools on Google. I squeezed Google Map, or Google. Funny enough, as I asked Omo, the Google was able to answer me, no. That means, funny enough, Google was overzealous in confirming who Ono is by telling me that in the Ibibio language, when you hear the word Umo, it means wealth. And when you hear the word Eno, it means gift. In deepening my outlined reach and research, Google also confirmed to me that there is indeed a term called Omo-Enoism. I went out searching further. What is the meaning of that? It told me it means a governance model that deploys wealth of experience to offer a gift. To who? A gift of governance, good governance to the citizens of Akwa Ibom. How? It's a process that is given with humility, firmness, sincerity, purposefulness, fear of God, and accountability. That is what Google says about Omo Inoism. It's a breed of model of a rare and unique governance system that draws on principles, practices, and experience in corporate governance. PACE attributes genuine passion for public service and advancement of citizens' interests to produce a unique citizenship or leadership competency that is currently being witnessed in Akwa Ibom under the state governor. Thinking through it all, I came to the conclusion that the personality and style of governance of His Excellency is defined by the reality of the meaning of his name and the gene of service and discipline he must have inherited from his police father and the Christianly mother. The launch today of Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund does not only give practical effect to the security component of Arise, Ebolite. It is a further manifestation of the visionary, purposeful, and accountable governance that Akwa Ibom has been enjoying under the current political leadership. This is a clear dividend of Omoiniism, model of governments, and I am truly honored to be part of this historic-making event. Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the letter inviting me to chair this event requests that I leverage my leadership experience as a former Inspector General of Police and a strategic player at the highest policing and security governance level in the country towards lending credibility to the inspiring greater public confidence and support for this initiative. Well, Mr. Governor, your leadership credentials, mission, vision, policies, action plans, and measurable achievements have already lent credence and instilled confidence among the citizens and the corporate players in Akwa Ibom State. I need not further plug that in relation to the Akwa Ibom Security Trust Fund, the chairman has said much. Nonetheless, I will make some key observations only for the purpose of deepening our understanding of the importance of security and responsibilities of government, citizen, corporate players, and other strategic stakeholders in the dynamics of security governance. Your Excellency, gentlemen, governance is all about people. It has been said earlier by the MC. It is for this fundamental consideration that Section 14, subsection B of the Nigerian Constitution 1999 as amended affirms that the security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. The import of this is that the measure of successes of any government is the extent to which they prioritize the security and welfare of citizens within their governance space and tenure. Beyond this, security and development are intricately intertwined. No measurable development can be achieved without a resilient security system, infrastructure, and the right orientation. And no sustainable security can be guaranteed without a strong economy to support the government in meeting the capital-intensive requirements of security services, either through dutiful payment of your taxes, or by corporate players, or by citizens themselves, or through government and citizenship partnership. Initiative like the Akwa Ibom Security Trust Fund. It is an initiative of government, but it is citizen-government partnership. The message here is very simple and clear. While security is constitutionally the primary purpose of government, the process of achieving this purpose is by law, by principles and practice, and a product of trust building and partnership between the government and the people. The imperative of partnership between security and structure and the public for a secure community was underscored by principles of law enforcement articulated by Rebel P. I usually read this book very well when I was in service. Robert Peel is the pioneer law enforcement officer of the Metropolitan Police as far back as 1829. One of the 9 statements advanced in the principles, 5 directly emphasize the importance of public consent, trust, and collaboration within any security architecture. The security agents cannot be left on their own. They must be collaborated. There must be synergy collaboration between them and the citizens for any meaningful security to be achieved. Principles number 7, for instance, particularly, was very instructive, as it emphatically states that the police at all times, when I say police, I don't mean Nigeria police. When I say police here, I mean anybody who is involved in the maintenance of law and order, in providing security, in providing a conducive environment. It can be from the armed forces, it can be from the police, it can be from the paramilitary organizations, it can be from the safety agencies, it can be from Omotekun or state security, whatever. Anybody who is involved in the act of making sure a society or a community coexist peacefully is doing policing work. And that's what I mean by policing. In further underscoring this strategic importance of citizens' partnership in modern policing and security structure, the task on 21st Century Policing Initiative of Government of the United States knows that trust and partnership between law enforcement agencies and the people they protect is key to stability of communities. The integrity of the criminal justice system and the safe and effective policing delivery is also very, very important. What I mean by the criminal justice system is before you punish an offender, you must have gone through various agencies. The investigator can finish his work either in the DSS or in the police or in the customs or in the immigration or whatever. The next thing is he has to push it to the court. There are prosecutors. They also have to do their diligent work. The next thing is they have to, if they were able to secure conviction, they had to pass it to the prisons where the man should be kept in custody and so forth. So there must be synergy between from point A to B, to C to D until the end. One of the agencies among these ones does not do his work, the criminal will still go free. And therefore we need synergy, collaboration, cooperation in the criminal justice system. The vision and launch of the Akwa Ibom Security Trust Fund does not only align with this principle. The project, Governor Omo, as a citizen-friendly and visionary political leader who appreciates the modern dynamics of security governance and who is conscious of his constitutional responsibility to the people of Akwa Ibom, whom he draws his own legitimacy, incidentally. The launch we are witnessing today is not an isolated security action of Your Excellency. I am aware of the Smart City project, which will align the security of public space in the state of modern standard investigation room or CCTV camera coverage or other cutting-edge purpose-built command and control center. You must have this. Nowadays, it is not all about manpower. It is not all about population of people in security. You need technology to support your coverage. You need a lot of scientific aids and tools to be able to perform your security work very well. This is an unprecedented and informed security governance initiative. I'm also aware of the procurement and donation of gunboats to the Naval Detachment to enforce waterway security as well as sustain logistics and operational support to all security agencies. To the extent that security is a product of good governance. On a wider scale, I've been constantly following Your Excellency's good governance and development strides. For all those, I salute Your Excellency. From my experience, Your Excellency, the greatest challenge of achieving our national security goal is funding and logistics limitations. You may not be able to have all that you need, but you must use what you have wisely. Unfortunately, the reality is that security is a capital-intensive Yet the crimes and the security dynamics that threaten our common safety are dynamic, as if it is human being itself. Because it is done by human beings, when you block one way, another ways will be opened by people who have the business of crime. Unfortunately, the reality is that this security is capital intensive, yet the crimes and security challenges that threaten our common safety are dynamic, transnational sometimes, and technology driven in most time. No government worldwide or single-handedly fund policing and security. And that is why we need this kind of initiative. This informed why the federal government established the Nigeria Police Trust Fund to explore corporate and national funding to complement national policing budgetary requirements. At the state level, Lagos State stands out in the emplacement of similar security architecture with the age-long Lagos State Security Trust Fund to bridge security funding gaps in the state. The study of the success stories of this initiative, coupled with the commitment of Your Excellency DP Kunch to Akwa Ibom State a sustainable framework that will guarantee security in a sustainable manner, must have encouraged your government to embrace and replicate this private partnership security model in the state. To make this lofty initiative impactful, however, the government must manifest a credible, responsible, and accountable governance system that is strong enough to engender public trust and confidence, which are requisite for the people to willingly submit to partnering with the government and sacrifice their resources and goodwill to the security governance of this your framework. The citizens must be sure that their contributions will not only be invested in the purpose so slated, which is their security, but that the agency charged with utilizing the fund or items so contributed must be prepared to be transparent, accountable through a structured accountability mechanism. This, Your Excellency, is the only way to stay ahead of the security adversaries that are constantly threatening our values for communal peace, security, and development goals. This is the only way to sustain the legitimacy of government. This is the only way to achieve the lofty mandate of Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund. To glory of God, my joy and pride of Akwa Ibom lights, I believe, is that this is what Your Excellency is achieving today. I'm also gladdened by the profiles of the board trustees or board of trustee members, and I am encouraged by the fact that they are all people of cognate and diverse experience, honor, and credibility. I believe they shall put online their experience and integrity towards making a success of this thoughtful internal security initiative. I encourage corporate players, the citizens, and other strategic stakeholders to contribute generously and consistently, both in cash and kind, to this great initiative. I also admonish all security agencies who could be the end users of the efforts emanating from this initiative to recommit themselves to their mandate and collectively work in support of this vision. Mr. Governor, to achieve the fundamental objectives of the fund, which is to, among other things, promote enduring public-private partnership for crime prevention, containment, and eradication, to make the state a safe place. Shall all components of funds framework demonstrate genuine sense of commitment, I am convinced beyond all reasonable doubt that commencing hereafter, the security and development narratives of the state will experience a positive and a sustainable change, as Akwa Ibom is already one of the safest states in the country. On this note, I commend Your Excellency for the vision that informed the launch of this, and I congratulate the government, citizens, and corporate players for being part of this landmark initiative. I thank Your Excellency for the honor of being invited to chair this launch, and pray that Almighty Allah should continue to perfect your leadership and bless Akwa Ibom as a state. I thank you all for your rapt attention.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, after such deep research by the chairman on this occasion, all the findings having been adopted by Akwa Ibom State, Your Excellency, we feel that he deserves a traditional play from Akwa Ibom State, because that was deep and robust. We celebrate you, our chairman. But just before we take the cultural intervention, we're going to have one more address, which will be the overview of the fund by the gentleman who serves as the Honorable Commissioner, Ministry of Internal Security and Waterways. And by the way, let me add that His Excellency was very strategic in appointing General Kokoesien as the Commissioner in charge of this ministry, because while he takes care of internal security and waterways, being a son of Uran, he can also take care of the airways. Can we please put our hands together to welcome General Kokoesien for an overview of the fund. Celebrate him. Celebrate him.
Thank you, the MC. And I'm glad you mentioned that, because you will realize that we've not had any insecurity in the airways of Akwa Ibom State. Your Excellency, the Executive Governor, my boss, Her Excellency, the Deputy Governor, please let me stand on the protocols that have been established by Barrister Morgan, PhD. I thank His Excellency for the opportunity to give this overview. The Akwa Ibom State Security Management Team is most excited as we launch the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund today. This public-private partnership will greatly support security agencies, both formal and informal, in fighting crime within the state and its waterways. We are glad that funds will ensure the security agencies are adequately equipped, supported, and operationally enhanced, thus improving their readiness, their morale, their effectiveness, and their efficiency. For a better understanding and perspective, let me briefly discuss the Akwa Ibom State geostrategic environment. Akwa Ibom State is bordered on the east by Cross River State, and on the west by Rivers and Abia States, and the south by the Atlantic Ocean. Akwa Ibom State is therefore littoral, and the maritime environment requires specific security attention, not only from the perspective of securing its citizens, but protecting the blue economy's contribution to the state as well as the national GDP. With a coastline of 129 kilometers, Akwa Ibom State accounts for 13.4% of Nigeria's coastline, and that's the longest in Nigeria. Of all the coastal states, at 129 kilometers or 13.4%, Akwa Ibom has the longest coastline. So you really do understand why we pay a lot of attention to securing our waterways. Other important geographic features are the Imo and Cross Rivers, which flow along Akwa Ibom's east and western boundaries, respectively. So beyond this 129 kilometers of coastline, we have a whole lot of inland waterways where, again, criminality persists. So we are not only trying to secure our coastline, but we're trying to secure the inland waterways. A large percentage of the national oil and gas infrastructures within the state are situated offshore, thus making it vulnerable to attacks if not well managed. The state, of course, recognizes the responsibility and the efforts of the federal government to secure critical national infrastructures, which include oil and gas installations, shipping, fishing, and seaborne trade. As a subnational, however, the state has complemented this effort with specifics aimed at supporting local communities, small-scale maritime businesses, and waterborne travelers. I would like to add that the security landscape, whether on land or within the waterways, is ever-changing. And we heard our chairman talk about the changing landscape of security, which is a very fluid and dynamic phenomenon. Thus, aggravated by the conflicting interests of groups, most of them non-state actors, and requires continual and informal analysis and security management. So in this regard, let me discuss a few of the security threats that drive insecurity across the state. And I would like to add here that it's a national phenomenon. So some of the threats that I'm going to highlight here are prevalent across the nation, in the case of land, and across the Niger Delta region or the coastal states in terms of the waterways insecurity. First, the militancy. Militancy is a Niger Delta phenomenon that has persisted despite the actions of successive governments to demobilize and integrate the militants through the Presidential Amnesty Program. While much of their activities are within the creeks and rivers that traverse these communities, they oftentimes extend their activities inland, where they operate against vulnerable communities and travelers, and exit back into the maritime environment, where they use more as safe haven, and then come up on land sometimes to perpetrate some attacks and then go back. Of course, kidnapping, armed robbery, cultism, and communal clashes, both intra and interstate, are all phenomena that affect communities within the state in some form. Again, I would highlight that these are criminalities that are prevalent in different degrees across the nation. So these are not phenomena that are domestic, just to Akwa Ibom State. They are phenomena that every state in Nigeria suffers from in one form or another, or in one degree or another. With a significant inland waterways and a long coastline, riverine robbery and sea piracy also fuel insecurity in the state. And finally, crude oil theft and illegal bunkering occur occasionally, and despite our efforts to curb these infractions, we believe that further support will aid in more robust operational engagements. Now, let me very briefly discuss the core areas of concentration and structuring for optimal use of these funds, because I'd like to give you a little bit of specifics in terms of where we see these funds going into. Our intent is to reorganize our land-based security architecture into a quick response team and strengthen our maritime-based architecture through the Joint Maritime Task Force. The Quick Response Team, or QRT for short, will be a multi-agency team comprising the security agencies and intelligence agencies operating within the state, with elements of the Ibom Community Watch. The QRT personnel will be seconded from these agencies and will seek the support of the various service headquarters in Abuja. I'm glad that the service chiefs are all represented here, because at some point we'll be coming back to you to discuss in more details the operationalization of both the Quick Response Team and the Joint Maritime Task Force. And will serve within the team for a period of up to 3 years. Now, we've specifically talked about this long period of 3 years because we feel when we take this seconded personnel that you give to us and we train them, we kit them, for purposes of keeping them together and for them to understand the interoperability amongst themselves. We don't want them to be rotated out very often. So we intend to have them seconded to these teams, whether it is the Joint Maritime Task Force or it's a Quick Response Team, so that we can train them, we can kit them, we can put them in the molds that we feel they should best support our security both on land and within the waterways. Like I said, the aim is to ensure stability of the team. The Quick Response Team will be police-led. And so here I would like to highlight some of the areas of need. The state government is presently constructing a command and control center. That center is incomplete, or is not completed yet, but that is going to be the focus for us to operate from It's going to provide us with all the equipment that we need, modern technology to help coordinate all the assets and activities of security, both on land and within the... And so as we go forward, we expect that some of the funds that we realize from this launch will go into giving us the very latest in equipment from where we can operate, from where we can manage and control and command the operations that we are conducting, both on land and within the waterways. And for other emergencies, we will integrate other aspects of emergency, whether it is, road traffic, whether it is medical emergencies, into the command and control center. So we have a one-stop shop where all activities can be coordinated from. And mobility is at the heart of security interventions. And so in our first phase, we are looking to give pickup trucks to all the 31 local governments. In this phase one, we are looking at 10 pickup trucks per local government. So at 31 local governments, we are looking at 310 pickup trucks. So that gives you an idea of the volume of funds we expect from your deep pockets today. We all know that such will enhance patrolling and quick response. Beyond these pickup trucks, we hope to have squad cars within the inner cities, the urban areas. We believe they are more flexible within the urban, the urban centers, whether you're talking about Uyo or Ron, Nikodekbene, Eke, Tabak, or other urban centers. And we also believe that squad cars are best suited in areas where there is a large population of civilians. So we intend to have these squad cars within the urban areas, while these 310 pickup trucks we're talking about in the 31 local governments will operate mostly around the intercities and the outskirts. Communications, of course, we know, irrespective of the number of personnel you have, the quality of personnel, and the capacity to respond, if you do not get the quick information, then it's not complete. So we really need to enhance our communication equipment. I may not go into a whole lot of details, but whether they are fixed radios on vehicles or walkie-talkies, repeater stations, satellite connections, because as you know, in some parts of our rural areas, you may not find good network. And when you get into the waterways in some areas also, you do not find good network. So we also want to expand up to satellite communications. The Safe City project. Now, this is an area that we're really particular about, where we intend to install cameras in our cities, on our highways, at entry points into the state, along the coastal areas, so that we can, it's preventive, it helps with quick response, and it also helps with investigations. So the Safe City project is a major part of what we intend to do as part of our land operations, to make sure that we deploy these cameras, very high-tech cameras, across our cities, across our highways, across our border areas. And of course, we need to accessorize these operatives, whether it is with uniforms or it's with jackets and helmets that help to keep them secure, since they are going after very dangerous adversaries. And of course, we'll provide them with other force multipliers, whether it is night vision goggles, binoculars, to aid their operation. Like the quick response team, the Joint Maritime Task Force will be also multi-agency, but led by the Navy. The chairman of the board also spoke about this. So we intend in phase one to increase our rigid hull gunboats by another 20 platforms. The Navy will tell you how expensive the rigid hull gunboats are. Those are gunboats that will deploy more into the deeper into the waters. Those that know the waterways well know if you take the smaller gunboats into the seas, the waves will affect them. So we're thinking about the big rigid hull gunboats going to the waterways. Again, like I explained earlier, approximately 98% of the oil and gas infrastructures in the state are offshore. So not only will that collaborate in terms of what the federal government is doing, but it will help to secure that area where sea pirates and other criminality continues to exist. Again, I talked about the fact that beyond the 129-kilometer coastline, Akwa has a lot of inland waterways, and then we operate also within the creeks and shallow rivers. So beyond the 15 rigid hull gunboats, we are looking to increase our current fleet of the light gunboats that can go into these shallow waters, that can go into the rivers. Again, I talked about the fact that we are bordered on our east and west by both the Imo River and the Cross River. These are areas that the rigid hull heavy gunboats cannot operate in. So we intend in this first phase to increase our flat bottom boats by another 25 to help in these areas. Of course, communication equipment, we intend to go into surveillance drones to help with the continuous monitoring. Finally, Your Excellency, ladies and gentlemen, the funds will support joint training to ensure better interoperability and operational efficiency of these teams. In concluding, therefore, as we join the state on this journey to improve upon the gains that we have made in positioning the state as one of the safest in the country, please be assured that the citizens, the residents, and travelers across the state are eternally grateful to you. Many thanks to everybody, and many thanks to His Excellency for giving us this opportunity. God bless.
Thank you very much, the Honorable Commissioner, Minister of Internal Security and Waterways. I can assure that all the funds realized for the Security Trust Fund will be effectively and very transparently utilized. That is one thing His Excellency, our Governor, is known for. Now, we're going to be having a 4-minute performance by the Ekemini Cultural Troupe. This performance is not just to entertain you, our esteemed guests, but is also a performance to show how appreciative we are that you accepted to come here today and to contribute to the State Security Fund. So please, if your hands are not so busy, can you put them together to celebrate this very young, yet very dexterous performance? Ekemini Cultural Troupe, this is your moment. Can we give a big round of applause to Ekemini Cultural Troupe? Can we celebrate them, celebrate them, celebrate them? So much to appreciate about them. Their poise, their coordination, the dexterity, and even their housekeeping. That was a special presentation performance for the chairman on the occasion to appreciate you for the depth of your research. Can we please put our hands together one more time to celebrate him? And by the way, as we progress, let me say that we have export talent performances, especially from the very young ones in Akwa Ibom State. So I'm sure that when next Zenith Bank, Wema Bank, Paralex, Premium Trust, and all the big organizations will have their next anniversary celebrations, you can come to Akwa Ibom, would package this content and send to Abuja, Lagos, globally for you. Please come in one more time, put our hands together to celebrate these our stars. We truly honor and appreciate their talent. Your Excellency, we move further into this event as we will take a short documentary. Now, we heard the chairman on the occasion making very elaborate explanations as to why this event is necessary. We also heard from the chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund, of course also from the commissioner in charge of the Ministry of Internal Security and Waterways. But we want to back our words with some sites, something to further enunciate why we have had to invite all of you here to partner Akwa Ibom State to ensure the security of our state. So this short documentary is not just to inform you, but it's to further convince you as to why you were invited and as to why you should donate to the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund. It will be 5 minutes, but this 5 minutes will worth every attention you give. Please, the multimedia team, Solomon Ayo, please.
Akwa Ibom State today proudly stands out as one of Nigeria's safest and most peaceful destinations, a haven where citizens, investors, and tourists alike enjoy serenity made possible by visionary leadership. At the heart of this achievement is Governor Omoino, who, through bold, practical, and people-focused initiatives, is deepening the culture of peace and security while sustaining the state's enviable acclaim. A story of dedication and sheer determination to redefine governance, the Arise Agenda, anchored on 5 pillars and 17 focal points, is daily revolutionizing the citizen experience, delivering real-time solutions in agriculture, rural development, infrastructure, security, and the economy. Every day brings fresh perspectives and renewed reasons to celebrate. As with every sector the administration has touched, security, one of the critical pillars of the Arise Agenda, has since Governor Eno's advent in 2023 received deliberate and sustained attention, energizing the Destination Akwa Ibom narrative. While footprints of tourists and investors continue to increase, it is worth noting that Governor Eno is daily living out the reality of the promise he made to the people.
Today we are gathered to further extend our frontiers and status as one of the safest states in the country, where security of lives and properties as enshrined in the social contract is considered an article of faith. The S in the governance blueprint, Arise, as I am sure you all know, stands for security. We are partnering with all the security agencies in this state and beyond to ensure peaceful coexistence amongst our people.
For indigents and residents alike, Akwa Ibom has become an oasis of peace, built on the governor's unwavering commitment to security. To make good on the assurance of safety as foundational to the success of the Arise Agenda, Governor Eno created the Ministry of Internal Security and Waterways, leaving no one in doubt of his resolve to replace crime with a new, acceptable social order. Through the establishment of the Ibom Community Watch, neighborhood intelligence gathering has been strengthened, while community-based policing continues to read the state of crime in all its forms.
Look at our oil production between May 2023 and now. Now we're producing over 500,000 barrels a day, and that's because he has brought calm to the waterways. And as you know, almost 99% of Akwa Ibom oil is in the waterways. So that is where you begin to benchmark the level of security in the waterways. On land, the same thing. Akwa Ibom has been adjudged constantly as one of the safest states, and that's all because of the level of support that His Excellency has put into the security sector.
Across land, air, and water in all 31 local government areas, including previously troubled communities, the governor's coordinated approach to interagency collaboration has restored serenity and safety. Deploying both soft and hard infrastructure for security management, Governor Eno has in just 28 months ensured that security agencies are not only well equipped, but also mobilized to combat crime effectively, making communities safe around the clock. The purchase of 14 gunboats for the Maritime Task Force to tackle criminality within the waterways, alongside the ongoing construction of the Oron Maritime Ecosystem with jetties, has brought calm to the waters, enabling direct ferry services, combating crude oil theft, and eliminating sea piracy.
The ordinary people in Akwa Ibom who wish to have interstate trading, and they decide that they're going to use the waterways, it will be possible for somebody to use the waterways and go, for example, to Port Harcourt, go, for example, to Warri, go, for example, to our neighboring countries, Equatorial Guinea, Cameroon, cross river, and you will be assured of security. Investment in security should be the concern of everyone, the ordinary citizens, business people, and of course the public sector as well.
Other interventions, including provision of patrol vehicles for security agencies, have further solidified Akwa Ibom's standing as a destination of choice for investors. Going beyond routine measures, the ongoing construction of the Security Command and Control Center, designed to coordinate security operations in real time across the state, has been hailed as a transformative idea that is changing the narrative. Now, mobilizing the citizenry towards Governor Eno's towering ambition of sustaining Akwa Ibom's peaceful acclaim, the launch of the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund marks a new chapter. Without security as a pivot, the remarkable progress of the past 28 months in agricultural revolution and food sufficiency, healthcare and education interventions, 771 kilometers of roads, the bold and audacious Arise resorts, housing projects, aviation development, the convention center, Arise Compassionate Homes, and numerous other projects would not have been possible. From agriculture, rural development, infrastructure, security, education to social services, Governor Eno's Akwa Ibom State is redefining growth and prosperity, strengthening the integrity of its security systems, and boosting the confidence of citizens, tourists, and investors in the state as Nigeria's best-kept secret. Your Excellencies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the launch of the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund.
I'll give you a few more seconds to clap. Clap, can we celebrate His Excellency some more? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much. It was Martin Luther King Jr. who said that a genuine leader is not a searcher for consensus, rather he is a builder of consensus. Day in, day out, His Excellency our Governor continues to build consensus within all of us as we continue to support him in revolutionizing development in Akwa Ibom State. We celebrate you, our leader, and we thank you for coming to us at a time like this. Let me now welcome Your Excellency for special remarks, the special guest of honor of this event, the Inspector General of Police in our dear country, represented here by the Commissioner of Police, Akwa Ibom State Command. Please, can we put our hands together as we welcome the CP as he presents the IGP's address. Celebrate him.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, the chairman of the occasion, please permit me to stand on the existing protocol. The speech I'm going to read today is that of the Inspector General of Police, who is unavoidably absent. He's on official visit to the Republic of China, so that is why he directed that I represent him. So whatever I'm reading today is representation, Your Excellency. It gives me immense pleasure and deep sense of responsibility to be in your midst today for the official launching of the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund. This gathering marks not just the unveiling of an initiative, but the beginning of a renewed partnership between the government, the security agencies and private sector and the public in the sacred duty of safeguarding our communities. Today's event is a testimony that Akwa Ibom State is not waiting for challenges to overwhelm it before acting. Instead, the state has taken proactive and visionary steps to strengthen its security architecture and safeguard the peace for which it is widely admired. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, security is the cornerstone of every thriving society. Without safety, there cannot be meaningful development. Without peace, investment are endangered and dreams are deferred. As the Holy Book reminds us, unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. We, as custodians of public safety, must therefore combine divine guidance with deliberate practical measures that strengthen our resolve and capacity to protect our people. No state or nation can prosper when crime and insecurity are allowed to flourish. It is for this reason that the Nigeria Police Force under my leadership has prioritized intelligence-led policing, community partnership, and the deployment of technology in crime prevention and detection. The Akwa Ibom State Trust Fund, Security Trust Fund we launched today is a forward-looking initiative designed to mobilize resources for sustainable security operations. This fund will enhance logistics, providing patrol vehicles, communication gadgets, and surveillance equipment. Strengthen capacity building through training, retraining, and specialized courses for officers. Improve welfare and morale of security personnel, recognizing that motivated officers served better. Expand technology-driven policing, including CCTV deployment, drones, and forensic support. More importantly, it provides a transparent framework for public-private partnership in security management. It ensures that contributions from individuals and organizations are properly harnessed, accounted for, and channeled into making Akwa Ibom safer for residents, investors, and visitors. Security is a shared responsibility. The police, no matter how dedicated, cannot achieve lasting peace without the trust, support, and cooperation of the people. This fund is therefore a call for action, a rallying point where every stakeholder can contribute to the common good. The business community has a role, for without a safe environment, business cannot flourish. Our traditional rulers and religious leaders have a role, for they are custodians of moral guidance and community values. Civil society and the media have a role, for they shape public trust and accountability. And above all, the ordinary citizen has a role to remain vigilant, law-abiding, and cooperative with security agencies. On our part, let me assure the government and the good people of Akwa Ibom State that Nigeria Police Force remain unwavering in its duty to secure lives and property. We shall continue to deploy our personnel and resources strategically, working hand in hand with the government and other sister agencies to ensure that Akwa Ibom remain one of the safest states in Nigeria. We are determined to be accountable and transparent in utilizing every support received. The trust reposed in us will not be abused. Our officers will match your goodwill with renewed professionalism, dedication, and courage in service. Permit me to commend His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, for his foresight and leadership in establishing this pond. This is a bold step that reflects vision, responsibility, and care for the people. I also appreciate the commitment of the business community, corporate organizations, and individuals who pledged their supports. Your contributions are not just financial, they are seeds of peace, development, and prosperity. To our traditional rulers, religious leaders, and civil society groups, I say thank you for your continuous partnership with the police. Your moral voice and community engagement remains invaluable. In conclusion, as we launch this security trust fund today, let us remember that security is not an expense, but an investment in peace, in stability, in development, and in the future of our children. I therefore call on well-meaning citizens, corporate organizations, and stakeholders to support this noble initiative wholeheartedly. Together, we can build a state where business thrives, where citizens live with their two eyes closed, and where dreams can flourish without fear. On behalf of the Nigeria Police Force, I pledge our unwavering commitment, professionalism, and accountability. With your partnership, we shall make Akwa Ibom State a shining example for peace, safety, and prosperity in our dear country. Thank you, and God bless Akwa Ibom State, God bless the Nigeria Police, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria.
Thank you so much. Please, can we give another round of applause to the IGP? Thank you. Thank you for the commitment made. Your Excellency, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, history tells us of an army general, name redacted, because it's a security meeting. General Kokwesian told me that when you're speaking in the army, you redact a lot of things so that people won't know. I'm now a general, sir. So the history tells us of a general that led his troop across the sea. And Your Excellency, as he led his troop across the sea to battle with enemy countries across the shore. Narrative is that he asks that they should bring down the bridge and also dismiss all the ships that led his troop across the sea. And of course, his men were afraid and worried. How do we retreat if the need arises for us to retreat? How do we run? How do we even return to our land in safety if both the bridge and our ship has been burnt? And Your Excellency, they were bold enough to ask their leader, why do this? And history says he responded and said, we are in it to win it. It's either we fight and die or we fight and win. Today in this auditorium, we have a leader who I think shares the thoughts of the general I've just described. He wants Akwa Ibom State safe, nothing more, nothing less. Ladies and gentlemen, cometh the man, cometh the hour. His Excellency, the Governor of Akwa Ibom State, for his address at this event. Can we please put our hands together, celebrate, and welcome Pastor Warren of PhD as he comes to speak to us today.
so much. Please, let's take our seats. Thank you so much. Thank you. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State, distinguished Senator Akon Eyayi, the chairman of this occasion, the immediate past Inspector General of Police, other service chiefs that are here, that of the Army, the Navy, and the Air Force, all the Director General of the Department of State Security, Federal Road Safety, all of the service chiefs that are here represented, our service commanders, the chairman of Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund, our senior brother, Mr. Paul Usoro SAN, members and board of trustees, ex-officials of the Security Trust Fund, and I understand there will have to be a rejigging of the membership. I've just been told that we had omitted some very strategic members of the security team. I take responsibility for that, and that's why I'm a human being. And it also shows that no man is perfect. So if you think in terms of perfection, you will not find that in me. So we'll rejig accordingly. Please, we thank you and appreciate all of your support. Distinguished senators and members of the National Assembly, both serving and retired, that are here, please permit me to very specially welcome the chairman of SEPLAT, himself a senator. Like Morgan said, it's been everything. He flew in just for this meeting. We don't take it for granted, sir. Thank you so much for your support. As a matter of fact, your face on this security launch speaks volume. That of yourself, Mr. Paul Usoro. I think these are part of Akwa Ibom's best. And that should give confidence to all our donors today that will mean business. The Honorable Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, other principal officers and members of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, the Director General of our campaigns, Your Excellency, former Ambassador to the State of Russia, Ambassador Sam SAN, all our MDs, CEOs of organized private sectors that are here today, the Secretary to the Government of Akwa Ibom State, Head of the Civil Service, Executive Assistant, Chief Delivery Advisor to the Governor, members of the State Executive Council that are here with us, wife of the former Governor of Akwa Ibom, all our partners and donors, Chairman of Algon of Akwa Ibom State, other chairmen of other local government areas that are here with us, chairmen of boards and commissions, professional bodies, permanent secretaries, senior citizens, elders, critical stakeholders, our traditional fathers, members of the Fourth Estate of the Realm, ladies and gentlemen. Let me start by thanking the former Inspector General of Police, IGP Usman Alkali Baba, retired CFR, for accepting to chair this occasion. Thank you so much, sir, for receiving me warmly into your home, even though I just knew that you were home and I decided to just take you by surprise. Thank you for receiving me all the same. Thank you so much. I'm deeply moved by the warm and wonderful sentiments you have so expressed about me in your very great and moving speech. As a matter of fact, the speech will remain one of the documents I'll treasure in my library. Thank you so much. Thank you for adding a new phrase to describe my approach to governance, Enoism. I just decided to be myself, and I believe that governance is a sacred trust by God from the people, and then I just and it's transient. So I've just decided to be who I am and who I will always be in and out of government. And I try to live my very simple life as a man who has served the people, selling rice and stew, running restaurants, and begging people to patronize him. So you can't change after a while. So thank you so much for noticing that. It makes me even much more humble. Thank you so much, sir. I am deeply grateful to the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, PhD, NPM, who would have been here personally, but for other pressing official duties, he has, however, sent the Commissioner of Police, Akwa Ibom, to represent him. We salute him for the reforms he has initiated since becoming the Inspector General of Police. Permit me to kindly ask all of us in this hall to please rise to observe a minute silence in honor of our late former Inspector General of Police, Dr. Solomon Arase, who also served once as the Commissioner of Police in our dear state. He had personally assured me and had written to me before his sad passing that he was going to attend this event. Unfortunately, God called him home. As we remain standing, let us honor the memories of our late Commissioner of Police, CP Wahid Ayilara, and indeed all men and officers of the security agencies who have paid the ultimate price so we may live in peace in Akwa Ibom and by extension Nigeria. Please, as we rise, let us honor them. May their souls rest in perfect peace in Jesus' name. Please let's take our seats. We will continue to cherish their sacrifices and ensure that the families they left behind will always be remembered. In line with what our chairman has said in his speech, I promised during our successful gubernatorial campaigns in 2023 that if elected, we will demystify governance and put the people at the center of all our engagements. Governance, in my considered opinion, must have a human face, a warm touch, and a heart that animates rather than repels, where the people take ownership and remain deeply invested in the affairs of government. I thank you, sir, for identifying some of those ingrained ideals I share, which has helped shape my life. Permit me to also thank the other eminent Nigerians, especially the chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund, our own Mr. Paul Usoro SAN, and the chairman of Access Bank. Thank you for lending your time, your contacts, and expertise to serve our state. Special appreciation also go to the Speaker of the Akwa Ibom State House of Assembly, and other honorable members of the State House of Assembly for passing the bill into law, which I had subsequently assented, that established the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund. Let me especially thank our global engineer Wem Okoko of NSEC Integrated Services and all the contractors, corporate entities operating in the state for the support we have received from you so far, but most importantly, for the support we expect to receive from you as part of your corporate social responsibility towards the Security Trust Fund. Security is the first order of government. Indeed, it is the primary reason why government came into existence in the first instance. The principle of the social contract, as propounded by Thomas Hobbes, spoke eloquently about shared responsibility on the part of government and the governed. It is in recognition of that sacred responsibility that we are launching the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund today. It is a public-private partnership vehicle to bring all hands on deck to ensure we continue to live in a safe and secure environment so the people may pursue their legitimate undertaking away from the state of nature, which Hoops talked about. Our dear state is nationally considered one of the most peaceful and secure states in the country. And I want to thank and celebrate our past leaders for their single-minded devotion to this important ideal, of which we are now dedicating ourselves to expanding and deepening. I've said it always in my speeches, and everywhere that I have the platform, that Akwa Ibom is one state that have been blessed by God through their past leaders. And every leader have come to this state and have just heightened the level of development and security. And we constantly salute them. Please, I ask that we give a big round of applause to all our governors that have been before me. We trust that by the grace of God, we'll continue to build on the foundation they've laid, and we'll put another mortar on the bricks that they've laid in this project, Akwa Ibom. As you may well know, the S in our RISE agenda stands for security management. And since we came in, we have devoted resources to ensuring that we maintain our status as a safe, secure, and peaceful state. Part of the first act I performed shortly after I was sworn in was to create a standalone Ministry of Internal Security and Waterways. This ministry is headed by retired Brigadier General of the Nigerian Army, General Koko Essien. We thereafter created the Ibom Community Watch, a grassroots initiative aimed at gathering actionable intelligence and passing same to the institutional security agencies. This approach has been a game changer in all ramifications. We are in the process of expanding and recruiting more hands for the Ibom Community Watch. Permit me at this point to express the gratitude of the government and the people of Akwa Ibom State to the security agencies for the robust collaborations and cooperation we have received from them. That we are celebrated for being one of the safest states in the nation is because of the patriotic and passionate work they have done in collaboration with government to ensure that criminals don't have a safe haven in our dear state. We salute their commanders, the directors, the officers, and the men of the various security commands in the state. Thank you for those many nights we have had to stay awake just to ensure that an operation is successful. Thank you for the many surprise strikes you carry out by air, by land, by sea to make sure that our state remains peaceful. Thank you so much for giving your all, even sometimes your men in the line of duty. We appreciate you. We cannot thank you enough. But I can assure you that as long as I remain the governor of Akwa Ibom State, we will leave no stone unturned. We'll stand by you. We'll provide the needed assistance and support for you to continue to do your work. We'll stand by you and provide all the needed welfare to your troops, to your men, and to ensure that you get the job done satisfactorily. You are our heroes, and we celebrate all of you. We are hopeful to the Nigerian Army that a forward army formation along the maritime corridor in Oron, which we have recently made to the Chief of Army Staff, will be granted. I look at the face of my General Officer Commanding, and I know that they've started some work. I know that that will be granted. It will really help us curb kidnapping along that axis, because that's always the route to the sea, and we really want to make sure that we curb that. As the Honorable Commissioner for Internal Security and Waterways, General Kokwesien, has so eloquently presented, we will spare no expense in ensuring that our people continue to live in peace and in a secure, safe, and tranquil environment. The Command and Control Center, currently under construction, and other operational needs require a joint efforts, both by government and the private sector, which is the main reason we are launching this trust fund. All over the world, even in developed or mature democracies, security remains a shared responsibility between governments, corporations, individuals, and agencies. And we are hopeful that with the launching of this initiative, the private sector will step up to the plate and join us in maintaining our status as a safe, secure, peaceful, inviting, and serene state to live and thrive. We are priming the state as the next tourism hub of the nation, and security is a key element in the promotion of tourism. We expect to draw millions of people annually to our state to enjoy the facilities at our Rise resorts, which, when commissioned in December this year, will considerably be the best family-themed resort in this nation. We're building an international conference center that will take 5,000 capacity sitting and other breakout rooms. We're building the shopping mall, the Arise Shopping City. We're building hotels, all located within the Tropicana area. We have the International Worship Center, which is by far one of the most beautiful church buildings in this country. We need the support of the private sector, and I'm hopeful and assured by the caliber of the members of the Trust Fund that they will work with us to continue to make Akwa Ibom the oasis of peace and the destination of choice, where people continue to come, live, work, and be happy. As we strive to make Akwa Ibom a tourism hub, we know that we want to take, these days it's no more easy to travel out of the country with families for vacation. We want to make Akwa Ibom our next vacation hub in Nigeria. And we can't do that without security. And that's why we've invited you here today to partner with us, to donate, not just this one time, but to make it an item in your budget, in your account, to donate to the security of the state. It is in our peace that you will derive your peace. It is in our peace that you will make profit. And so as you consider this step, we'd like to partner with all of you to continue to make the state a heaven of peace for us and to banish criminality completely out of our state. I want to thank you for coming. God bless you all. God bless Akwa Ibom State, and God bless the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Your Excellency, the Governor. Please, we can take our seats. Thank you so much. Thank you. Your Excellency, our Governor, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, many high points in today's event, but where we are headed now is the highest of all the high points. I say so because we were here to launch the Security Trust Fund. His Excellency's address officially launches it but the contributions into the fund becomes the de facto launch. Your Excellency, all the corporate bodies here seated, all the stakeholders here, they came because they are ready to contribute to the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund, which is why I want to reiterate the words of the chairman of the trust fund, where he had mentioned that because we cannot have everyone speak here today, some pledge forms are being circulated. I'm sure they have been circulated. I'm tempted to want to confirm. Please, have you received the pledge form? Please let me request the protocol ushers to please get to work down. Let's circulate it as quickly as we can. The idea is that because we can't have all over 200 heads of this corporate organization speak here right now, we want the pledge forms to be shared. So you just write your name and write your contribution and submit again to the ushers or the protocol gentlemen, and the State Security Fund would reach out to you thereafter to ensure that you redeem your pledge. But we know everyone here, you really do not need a lot of follow-up because you are men of integrity to have risen to the echelon in the business that you are presently leading. But while we do that, Your Excellency, we're going to take some remarks and verbal donations from just about 3 or 4 organizations. We need them to come to speak so that those who are here would also be able to understand the transparent approach to which this government intends to go as far as the Security Trust Fund is concerned. Let me mention that the MDC of, or rather that Zenith Bank will speak through the executive director who represents their leader. The executive director is present in person and he will speak. Let me also mention, please, that that Access Bank will also speak. And by the way, let me acknowledge the presence of the MD of Access Bank who has just joined us here, Roosevelt Ogona FCA. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate him? We like to see where he's seated so we can honor him. Please, can we celebrate? Okay, I can see him back there. Can we put our hands together to celebrate him one more time? Thank you, thank you, thank you. He's a very humble man. Sir, your seat is right here in front. Okay, thank you for being here. And by the way, he didn't come alone, Your Excellency. He's here with the Executive Director Commercial, Hadiza Ambosa. Please, can we also put our hands together to celebrate? Thank you very much. I've been told that she will speak for Access Bank when the time is come. Thank you very much. The next organization that will be speaking will be the MD of Sterling Global. Can we put our hands together to celebrate him? And we would end as we would hear from distinguished Senator Udoma, Chairman of Seplat, but more importantly, a leader in Akwa Ibom State. So please, let me quickly call the Executive Director, Akia Guranti of Zenith Bank, to please accept to come to the microphone to get us started for the fundraising. Please, can we put our hands together to celebrate and welcome.
Your Excellency, Governor Dr. Umar Eno, PhD, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, Senator Akon Eyakanyi, the the former IGP and chairman of the occasion, Mr. Alkali, and the chairman of the Akwa Ibom State Trust Fund, Dr. Paul Usoro, son. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Please let me stand on the already established protocol. I bring this afternoon the warmest greetings and felicitations from our founder and chairman of Zenith Bank PLC, Dr. Jim Ovia, CFR, who is unavoidably absent at this occasion due to unforeseen circumstances. Your Excellency, our chairman and the group managing director, Dame Dr. Adara Umueji, really wanted to be with you this afternoon. The chairman has asked me to specifically congratulate Your Excellency and the good people of Akwa Ibom State on this epic occasion. Dr. Ovia has been watching with very keen interest and admiration the giant strides that Your Excellency has been making through your Arise agenda. It is worthy of note that security management is the fourth pillar of the Arise agenda. It is therefore not a surprise that today Akwa Ibom remains indisputably one of the safest states to live in our beloved country, Nigeria. It is also a testament indeed to your visionary leadership that despite running one of the safest states in the country, you have taken this most laudable initiative to launch the State Security Trust Fund as a public-private partnership to ensure the continuity of Akwa Ibom State as one of the safest states in the country. Your commitment to uplifting the welfare and economic well-being of the people of Akwa Ibom is again being demonstrated through this initiative, which will primarily focus on the security of lives and properties of Akwa Ibom people and all the well-meaning lovers of Akwa Ibom who visit your state very regularly. Indeed, we can't wait for the Arise Park to be completed. It's a tourist destination, and I'm sure that you'll be receiving a lot of people. So it's important for the state to remain safe. So we're very grateful for all the steps and the initiatives that you're taking, and our chairman is very pleased with all these strides that you're making. Your Excellency, our founder and chairman, has therefore asked that a very generous donation be made to the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund on behalf of himself and the bank in appreciation of our long-standing partnership with the state, would also make a separate hefty donation to the Security Trust Fund. The chairman of the Security Trust Fund, I will consult with you after this. As you know, we're not in a position to make public announcements of donations. But as part of our corporate social responsibility, certainly we will be partnering with Akwa Ibom State. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you, Your Excellency. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Zenith Bank. And Your Excellency, please, being a man on the authority, and particularly because we have to honor all of our esteemed guests who have come out to contribute to the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund. Let me begin by informing Your Excellency that the Association of Contractors have said that they are quite too proud of this initiative and they wouldn't want to sit to make their donation. They have asked me to call them as a group, all of the construction companies, that they would come out and use 10 seconds to announce their donation. I guess perhaps their code permits them to make the announcement. I have not quite studied their code yet. Please, so can we celebrate Uwemo Koko, fellow Nigeria Society of Engineers, Faisal Hab. They will come to lead all the construction companies to come out. Please, let's celebrate. Keep playing for them. The louder the music, I guess the greater the contribution. Please, let's rally round. Let's rally round. Continue to celebrate them. Continue to celebrate them till they take their stand. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So I'm told that this will be done in 10 seconds. 1 second. Great man. Thank you.
Your Excellency, the best performing governor in Nigeria, His Excellency Pastor Omar Obasieno, PhD, Governor of Akwa Ibom State, 2023 to 2031, no zoning. The Chairman of the occasion, the Chairman of the Security Trust Fund. Your Excellency, your contractors are here to make you proud. Because you don't owe us. You've paid as I went due. And we have made profit on this land. And it's time to give back to this land. And to make sure that our sites are secured, we have to invest in security. Therefore, all the contractors here, the men and women who are working under Akwa Ibom State government, has contributed and has mandated me as the Dean of Contractors, Akwa Ibom State, to make a donation on behalf of all of us on the sum of 10 billion naira. Thank you. $10 billion naira.
Please, can we celebrate them? Thank you. Thank you very much, the brass band. Your Excellency, while the contractors were up here to make their donation, by the way, can we put our hands together and celebrate them one more time? Thank you so much for believing in this vision. Your Excellency, while they were making their donation, I rushed to have a meeting with Paul Usoro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. He understands the banking codes. He's been around them for quite a while, and he agrees with them that for the purpose of their business, it might not be too appropriate for them to make verbal declarations of their donations here. So he has said that since he's in their sector, he would work with them to ensure that their donations come through. I hope that the announcement just made is correct, because I heard from the chairman of Access Bank. However, I'll give this opportunity to those in the oil and gas sector to have a meeting, 1-minute meeting, and immediately after the meeting, I would also invite them as a group, and they will just take a cue from the contractors. But while they have the meeting, let me invite this great noble lady from Access Bank, who was already penciled to speak at this event for strategic reasons, and of course, as we also honor our son, who is the chairman of the bank. Please, can we welcome the Executive Director, Commercial Access Bank, Hadi Sambusa. She comes to the microphone to speak and contribute within the ambits of the code, as it were, as we continue in today's event. Please celebrate her, the brass band. She deserves it. Thank you. After that will be the oil and gas sector coming out as a group to make their donation. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Your Excellency, Pastor Omo, NO, PhD. Good afternoon, Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor of Akwa Ibom State as well. I would beg to stand on existing protocols for this event. I just want to, I'm not sure what to say. After that 10 billion naira contribution from the contractors, I'm completely intimidated. But anyway, we're here, and we're here to support you, as clearly shown by our chair, who is the chairman of the Security Trust Fund. Access Bank has always been here to partner with Akwa Ibom, as His Excellency can, I'm sure, attest to. We've also keenly followed the iRise program and the developments on that as well, and we're here to support you in terms of security. When I first heard that Akwa Ibom was launching a Security Trust Fund, I thought, but that must be one of the safest states in the country. I come from Kebbi, and we always have one issue or the other. But then I realized that work has to be done to get the state to where it is today in terms of security. It didn't just happen by chance. And His Excellency confirmed that in his speech when he talked about all his predecessors and all the things that they've done. So yes, we will not be committing to a particular amount today, but we will work closely with the state to ensure that the plan is carried through. It was a very carefully thought through plan. I listened to the documentary and to the speeches about the command center, the vehicles, the operatives, clearly very well thought, especially because Akwa Ibom is not an easy state to police just by being on the coast. So the challenges of the waterways and of the state itself. So we're here to support you, and we will work with the chairman of the Security Trust Fund to bring in our contribution, and like you said, not just this year, but annually throughout our partnership. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here today, and we wish you well and congratulate you once again on this laudable initiative.
Thank you, the brass band. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, I'll now invite the oil and gas company, but let me also inform respectfully that the players in the oil and gas sector have just informed me that they would come out together, but that they would speak for themselves. They would come out together, but they would speak for themselves. It would appear the time of the meeting was too short, so let them announce what they came with. So please, can we celebrate and welcome players in the oil and gas sector? except Seplat, because the chairman of Seplat is to speak at the end. He is here as a leader in Akwa Ibom State, please. So let's welcome Sterling Oil, let's welcome Frontier Oil, let's welcome Savannah Energy, let's welcome all the other players in the oil and gas sector, Oriental Energy, Owando PLC, Vandresa. Please, can we keep celebrating them as they come? Can we keep celebrating them as they come? It's okay to come from this side. I've not seen Raymond Nabia. He's supposed to be here, by all means. Okay, so thank you very much, Your Excellency. I would invite the MD of Sterling to take the first bite, and then thereafter, I've been informed that they will just step down from here to have a meeting with the chairman, where the chairman would document their donations. This is a very special event, and so all of the adjustments should be please excused. And by the way, oil and gas, I was expecting some of my young friends who are selling gas on Oron Road to join them. Abi, you don't want to grow. Please, can we celebrate the MD of Sterling? Thank you.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, please allow me to stand on the existing protocols already laid out. Good afternoon, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. It's a privilege and an honor to stand before you today at this historic moment, the official launch of the State Security Trust Fund. Today's gathering represents more than the formal launch of an institution. It represents the reaffirmation of a promise made by the Executive Governor towards the security of the state. Your Excellency, under your leadership, Akwa Ibom has shown what is possible when vision meets action. Your Excellency, security is the foundation upon which progress is built. Without security, there can be no investment, no education for our children, and no peace in our communities. For this initiative to succeed, it must be people-centered. Communities and companies must see themselves as partners in safety and not just passive beneficiaries. I have said this before, Your Excellency, and I will say it again. Akwa Ibom is the most peaceful state in Nigeria. This is not by chance. This is by design. Your Excellency, thank you for your commitment, your leadership to make Akwa Ibom a prosperous state and also a safe and secure destination for investment. Today, I ask each and every one of you to commit to building a system where every children can go to school without fear. Every entrepreneur can invest with confidence, and every family can sleep peacefully at night. Lastly, allow me to commend the Executive Governor in picking a very competent and experienced members of the board, especially the chairman, Mr. Paul Osuru, whose capable leadership will steer this board towards success. God bless Akwa Ibom. God bless Nigeria. Sasong.
Thank you. Please, they proceed from here to have a meeting with the chairman. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, within the general rule, I just take one exception before we go to the chairman of SEPLAT. The general rule being that those in the banking sector would meet with the chairman to make their donations. Some have already made their donations, but I've just asked that I don't make an announcement. Very beautiful donations, some annually, as I've just been notified. But, Your Excellency, Globus Bank, they want to make their donation verbally. So please permit me to invite the Executive Director, Sunday Ilega, as he comes to the microphone to make his donation.
Your Excellency, good afternoon, and also the Deputy Governor, good afternoon, and ladies and gentlemen, all protocol duly observed. My name is Sunday Ilega, Executive Director of Globus Bank. I'm representing my Managing Director, Elias Sigbin Akezwa, who is unavoidably absent. He says his good wishes. On behalf of the board and management of Globus Bank, we wish to congratulate you, Your Excellency, on the significant giant strides and various achievements that you have recorded by your administration since you assumed office as the Executive Governor of our dear state, Akwa Ibom State. We are delighted, Your Excellency, to be associated with you in your desire to provide democracy dividends to the good people of Akwa Ibom State. I personally haven't lived in Akwa Ibom for more than 10 years. I always feel at home anytime I am here. Like somebody said, you know, Akwa Ibom State is the safest state in Nigeria. Thank you, Your Excellency, for creating the enabling environment for business to thrive in the state, including security of lives and property. We have enjoyed tremendous support as a bank since we commenced business operations in the state since 2019. We are ready to support and partner with you, Your Excellency, to ensure adequate security in Akwa Ibom State. We are committing an amount, some donation to the security fund. With due respect, Your Excellency, kindly permit me not to disclose it for obvious reason. We wish the good people of Akwa Ibom State peace, prosperity, and progress in Jesus' mighty name. Thank you.
Hold on the brass band. Your Excellency, I didn't do my know your customer properly. If he had filled all the forms as he would ask me to fill in his bank, I'm sure that he would have announced it publicly, as I heard. Your Excellency, please, I would end as I invite, or just before I end, I'd invite Paul Usoro SAN. He wants to make a personal contribution. That is to say that beyond the corporate organizations, all of us seated here who love Akwa Ibom, you have a right to also make personal contributions. Please, can we celebrate Paul Usoro SAN? I almost announced his donation, but I don't want trouble.
Your Excellency, one of the things that I mentioned when I had the privilege to speak the first time is that security concerns all of us individuals and not just corporate organizations. It involves public sector, everyone. And we of the Akwa Ibom State Trust Fund, we believe, as the generals would say, leading from the front. And so my colleagues, and I'm not referring to those who are public servants, my colleagues who are not of the public service have mandated me to announce a personal donation of 10 million to the Akwa Ibom Trust Fund. Your Excellency, the one that they did not mandate me to do is to say whether it's going to be monthly, weekly, or annually. But I think I will use my discretion and say that it would be annually, and they could actually be what the bankers, there's a certain calculation the bankers make which increases the value every other year. So, Your Excellency, you are assured that those of us who are serving there, we would make that contribution. And this is an example for every other person to make similar contribution. Thank you very much, Your Excellency.
Thank you very much. I'm sure his friends did not also tell him to tell us if it's dollars, pounds, naira, euro. So is it dollars? I should not worry. Your Excellency, let's end the series while I continue to appreciate all our donors, all our guests, all our stakeholders and partners. Thank you for filling out those forms. Thank you for submitting them. Thank you in advance, because I know that you would keep true to your words as per the forms that you filled. But let me end as I invite our leader, our father, our mentor, one we so honor and revere, distinguished Senator Udoma, Chairman Seplat. Can we put our hands together? Welcome him. He would have the last bite in this series, and after that we'll take the vote of thanks from the SSG, and we will go for lunch.
Your Excellency, the Executive Governor of Akwa Ibom State, all other protocols most respectfully observed. Your Excellency, you will appreciate that as being someone who is passionate about development in Akwa Ibom State, as a former senator, as somebody who supports most of your initiatives, you know that once invited, I will be here. Because you are doing very well for the state, and we're all very proud of you. But I was invited as chairman of Seplat, and I will speak first as chairman of Seplat. Now, I want to say, and I have very brief remarks here, that Seplat Energy's commitment to the state goes beyond business. Even though I think we are probably one of the most significant producers in Akwa Ibom State, significant commercial players in Akwa Ibom State. But it goes beyond that. It is rooted in partnership, in shared progress, and in the belief that together we can build resilient communities. Seplat remains dedicated to collaborating with the government and other stakeholders to ensure that the peace and security currently enjoyed in Akwa Ibom State is not only maintained but strengthened. The launching of this trust fund today serves as a symbol of collective responsibility. is a call to action for all stakeholders to play their part in safeguarding our communities. I want to assure you that Seplat Energy stands ready to support Akwa Ibom State in this noble endeavor. We shall have further discussions with the governor, as well as the chairman of the trust fund, to understand the specific priorities. But I can assure you, Your Excellency, we intend to make significant contributions. I've looked at some of the things you're looking at: buying vehicles, buying boats, communication equipment. We will sit down with your people, we will make significant contributions, and they will be disclosed. We'll make significant contributions. So God bless Akwa Ibom State. Now, for me personally, Seplat will do its own. I'm chairman of Seplat, and I will make sure, because I'm the chairman of Seplat, but I will also do my own. My brother has already set the standard, so I'm also going to, like him, make a contribution of 10 billion naira. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Your Excellency, please permit me to invite Algon, the chairman of all the local government areas represented here. The chairman of Algon will speak on their behalf. Your Excellency, if the local government areas are not safe, Akwa Ibom State cannot be said to be served. Please, let's make haste. We need to go for lunch, and then so that our guests can still meet up their flight time. Please. The chairman of Algon can begin to speak while his comrades are on the way.
Thank you very much, Barrister Morgan. Your Excellency, our dear Governor, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the issue of security cannot be exhaustively discussed without the contribution of those at the third tier, those of us who are at the third tier of governance, the local government. That is why Algon desires to also be a part of this historic launch of the Security Trust Fund for Akwa Ibom State. So on behalf of the Association of Local Governments of Nigeria, Algon, Akwa Ibom State, we will do initial support of 150 million naira. Then, on quarterly basis, we will contribute 155 million naira every quarter to ensure that we play our own role in protecting our society for our people and the collective prosperity of Akwa Ibom State. Thank you, and God bless Akwa Ibom State.
The chairman of Algon did not want to bother His Excellency with 31 handshakes, but His Excellency wouldn't mind after such a wholesome donation to ensure that Akwa Ibom State is safe. Please, can we celebrate them? Can we celebrate them? Can we celebrate them? Don't shake for too long. Make it a sharp handshake so you can keep moving. I will respectfully welcome the Secretary to the State Government to please accept to start making his way to the microphone for the vote of thanks as we continue to celebrate Algon for their enormous commitment through their donation to the Akwa Ibom State Security Trust Fund. Thank you, the brass band. Thank you, the brass band. And thank you so much, Chairman of local government areas. The SSG, please, for vote of thanks.
Your Excellency, Leader of Akwa Ibom State, Pastor Umar Eno, PhD. The Chairman of the occasion, IGP Alkali, retired. Ladies and gentlemen, Your Excellency, first of all, I'd like to thank God for today and thank God for you. As your secretary during the campaigns, I keep saying there is nothing you promised even before the campaigns, even before you were unveiled as the candidate of the party. There's nothing you said then that you would do that you have not done. When I retire from politics, I'll write a book about you. I'll write a book about a compassionate governor. I'll write a book about a man with vision and a man who follows through his vision. Everything you said you would do. At that time, I used to believe it was political talk. I used to believe you won't be able to do all of them. So far, 2.5 years down the line, you have surpassed the things you said you would do. So thank you, Your Excellency, for being a real leader in a country where leadership is often suspect. Your Excellency, the Deputy Governor, thank you for continuing to be a loyal Deputy Governor, dependable Deputy Governor. Thank you for being here. The Right Honorable Speaker, I thank you. The Chairman of the occasion, my name is Prince Uwa. After listening to your research, I will speak to the traditional institution that we now have a new chief. Thank you for coming to Akwa Ibom State. Thank you for your very, very inspiring speech. I'd like to thank our leaders, especially my senior brother, Senator Udoma. When I was growing up, I wanted to be like Senator Udoma. Today, I'm privileged to sit between him and another person I wish to be like, Paul Usoro, Senior Advocate of Nigeria. Thank you, our leaders. I'd like to also thank my boss, our campaign director, Ambassador Assam, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, and our senators, Senator Ekong Samson, and my own senator, Anyekan Basi. Most importantly, I'd like to thank all of you corporate titans, great men, great companies, banking titans, construction giants, leading oil players, for your donation. I am believing that these donations for today that are not disclosed, very soon we'll start disclosing them behind the scenes. Because I know that the Security Trust Fund is basically for you. I also like to thank the service chiefs, especially in the nation, the Chief of Army Staff, Chief of Naval Staff, the Chief of Air Staff, and of course the Inspector General of Police for making their presence here felt and for endorsing this event. Algon, thank you so much. When everybody made their donations, we actually felt public servants are not actually supposed to be part of this. I'd like to encourage all public servants to, there's this card on your tables with the Security Trust Fund account details. Please make due to donate to the Security Trust Fund because security is for everybody. Having said that, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to thank you for coming to the great city of Uyo in Akwa Ibom State. This is your state. Feel free, walk around. Nothing that happened here. You're welcome to Akwa Ibom State.
Thank you. Thank you so much, the Secretary to the State Government. Your Excellency, please permit that I bless the meal that has been set before us. It's a gift from God, it's a gift from the Governor. Therefore, this meal is blessed and it will nourish your bodies in Jesus' name. Amen. Let me invite the Deputy Governor of our dear state to please accept to lead His Excellency and other guests for lunch. But please, a special request. You have to be seated until the stewards come to ask that your table can go to where the food is served. Because if all of us stand up to walk in that direction, there will be no order. The brass band, you would want to entertain our ears while we go for lunch. Thank you.
Welcome back from the live telecast. We'll now continue with our regular programs. Stay tuned. The Inspector General of Police has met with senior officers to review the state of security.
We are continuing our coverage of the arrest of Godwin Emefiele.
The Senate has summoned the